Hey, what's going on, everybody? Manny here once again. Welcome to DFS Zone. I have a brand new NBA DFS video for you guys today. We're going to discuss today's 11-gamer, a huge slate today in the association. But before I get started, I appreciate you all. Drop a like on the video. It helps me out considerably. If you're new to the channel, never seen any of my videos before, the only thing you need to do to be a part of the community, get access to the videos, is to become a subscriber, which is totally free. So make sure you subscribe down below before you go. I appreciate that. And of course, don't forget to put on your post notifications, that bell icon, turn that on, so this way you'll be notified when I upload my next video. And I upload an NBA video 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, other than Sunday, until the NFL season is over. When the NFL season concludes, it'll be videos on Sunday as well. Okay. So with that being said, today is Wednesday. It's November the 20th, 2019. And like I said, we have a huge 11-gamer today. 11-game slates, man. Firsthand, like I've told you before, when it's a large slate like this, ladies and gentlemen, please remember, it's going to be tough to try to get a core group out of these 11. For me, a GPP player, trust me, I've been playing for 4 years. I always have at least 2 core lines on an 11-game slate, 10-game slate, 8, sometimes 9-game slates, depending on the matchups. So the only tip I can give you, a key tip I can keep telling you guys, is this: to make sure that you don't lock down the players that I talk about here, because there's going to be other players in play. I'm going to have more than enough players in my player pool going into the end of the day today. Of course, the player pool is a little bit bigger now, and then by the time the day's over, that should be narrowed down to about 25 or 30 or maybe even less, depending on the circumstances after but again, just don't go and pencil the ones that I'm putting in here. Large slates like this, you may have 2 players that are solid and you just really love them. They're in great spots. They should smash. They're in compatible games, games that are going to be close. Those guys are great. If you can lock in 2 of those, 3 of those, and you can make them core, and you still have to find your last remaining 2, I'm sure you're going to still find 6 or 7 more that you're not sure about. That's where I'm getting at. So that's why I always say this. Sometimes for me, for sure, I'm going to have at least 2 different cores today. There's a couple of players that really stand out to me right now. It's early on, but at the end of the day, we should be able to have a better idea. All right. Okay, also on this channel, just for you guys to know, if you haven't forgotten, I've been doing a weekly giveaway for that player pool. Okay, that player pool is going to be given out to one individual every week. If you want to be eligible for that giveaway, the only thing you need to do is like the video, comment down below anything regarding the slate, and at the same time, also make sure, if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe, because the winner has to be someone that has liked the video, commented it during the course of the week, and as well as be a subscriber. If you want access to that player pool sooner, you can. I did start a Patreon page. A few of you have come aboard and become a part of Team DFS Zone there. I appreciate every single one of you guys that have taken a look. Come down and take a look. I have 2 different tiers. Pretty the prices are very reasonable. Trust me. I am not looking to take anybody's money and really just run. I'm trying to just give you guys the best possible plays every single night. I do have options with the GPP cash line value line. That is basically like a cheat sheet. Basically, I'm going to just share with you what those players I think stand out as far as cash play, GPP plays, and value plays throughout the slate. Sometimes there'll be 5 per each one of those. Sometimes there's more, and then a large slate like this will probably be a few more than norm. And then, of course, I also have my player pool that is eligible for the weekly drawing. You can have access to that right away and try it out for a couple of weeks, for a couple of days. You try for a week or try for a month. Who knows? The good thing about it is, if you're looking for information a little bit more broader, really quick, you don't have the time for it, that is perfect for you. Come down and take a look at it, and more than likely it'll be able to help you at least figure out some plays and put you in position to be a consistent winner. Okay, and that's pretty much the goal. All right, so if you want to be in the giveaway, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's go to the actual play. So injury reports, things that we got to be on the lookout for today. At the top, we got Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard is out for whatever reason, he's still a game time decision. I haven't heard anything yet. We're still like 5 or 6 hours away from from lock. If he happens to be out, we already know the deal. PG-13 is obviously in play. Guys like Jermichael Green could be options. Definitely Lou will be the second top option there, other than PG-13. And of course, you got Green, Harkless, and Harold that you could definitely consider there. Kyrie obviously is out for Brooklyn. So you know the deal there. Dinwiddie is going to be someone who's going to be, pretty high usage there for Brooklyn. You can definitely go with Dinwiddie. Of course, like I told you the last time, keep your eyes on Temple and Harris. Harris didn't play well the last time. They were in a blowout anyway. It wasn't so much about the minutes or anything like that. He played less minutes. He didn't shoot particularly well to start with. But, Garrett Temple came up fairly good in that game. Again, these are guys that you can definitely plug in there as potential value. Andrew Wiggins, that situation you got to watch out as well. He's still with the illness. If he is out, obviously there's a huge bump for Towns, fatigue, Culver. There's also the possibility of Okogie being out. If he is out, then Culver, Graham, and Martin all get a slight little usage bump. Should be in those games, and they're going to be probably the value plays there. And then the two top dogs that get benefit the most as far as usage and shots is going to be Towns and Teague. Other than that, Tristan Thompson supposedly is going to be resting today. Kevin Love says he had game time decision. He's more than likely going to play. Kevin Love plays. Obviously, he's going to be in play. Not high on it because this game here is going to be a tough matchup with Miami, but that is an option you have there. With Love, he'll probably slide in the 4. He'll probably be in the 5. They may use Zizic. We don't know. It's going to be tough to tell right now until at least an hour before lock. You can get an idea of what Cleveland's going to do as far as the lineup. If they're going to go small with Love at the 5, or they're going to play him at the 4, put Zizic in the 5. Who knows? They may even move Nance to the 4 and him to the 5, or Nance all the way to the 5. So anything can go there, but I guess guys like Nance and Love are probably the two guys that you might want to look out, that you may want to consider up front for Cleveland in this matchup against Miami. But Bam Adebayo and Myers Leonard have been pretty solid over there as far as rebounders and shot blockers, and it's going to be a tough thing. The good thing about Love is that he's a stretch 4, stretch 5 kind of guy. He definitely likes to take the threes, and that will also get some guys out there to defend him, and it'll open it up for other individuals. Jabari Parker, before getting on, I hear that he is more than likely going to play, so Jabari Parker is no longer going to be a factor there. I'm not concerned with the R.J. Barrett with the thumb. He is probable for the Knicks today. Jonathan Isaac, if he's out, the guys that get the bumps are obviously Aaron Gordon for the Orlando Magic. Al-Farouq Aminu has been getting some time there. And then, of course, you got to consider Powell and Fournier getting a little bit of a bump in usage there as well. The last important one that I think is of significance is Derek White. Derek White is going to be out for San Antonio, so automatically that puts Patty Mills in play. That puts Forbes up for a little bit of a bump. And, of course, absolutely, DeMar DeRozan will get more of a usage bump, and he's going to have to take a little bit more offense for the team today. All right, so that's where we at with those guys. Let's get over to the picks at point guard. I'm going to try to be quick today. I noticed that my videos have been crazy long, and it's because I'm always trying to give you guys options, but I'm going to have to try to start minimizing that as best as I can. So at the top at point guard, we got Doncic, Trae Young, Russell Westbrook, and I tell you, out of the three right there, the one with the best possible bet to do well is Russell Westbrook, and his price tag is under $10,000. Is great. Trae Young in a tough matchup against Milwaukee. Milwaukee also, this game has not a high implied total. It has a huge spread. I think they got Milwaukee favored by 12 or something like that. So that is brutal for Trae Young. If I would have been interested more in Trae Young and sprinkling him a little bit more in this matchup under 10,000, especially if there was no Jabari Parker, because we know he's going to have to take up the workload. But this is definitely a tough game to gauge. And the same thing with Doncic. This is also a blowout situation game to pay that price for him. Granted, in 3 quarters he may be able to pay off this price, but that is definitely a tough go. I'm going to come down and be a little bit more reasonable. There are guys like Bledsoe that are interesting to me. Murray against Houston, which of course Murray is not a great defender. This is why I think Westbrook is a great play. And going back to Westbrook, 9,600 for him and 8,600 on DK. I think he's excellent play, a guy that you can't possibly plug in as a core on DK for 8,600. It's $1,000 cheaper. He's averaging 46 to 47 fantasy points per game. He's going up against Denver. They're 8th in defending point guards, but they have been allowing 31 fantasy points per game, and he has tremendous upside, 50, 60. He has 60-point upside going up against Murray. We know Murray is not an excellent defender. Neither is Westbrook, but to me, Westbrook definitely has the high upside, so I'd rather pay a little bit more because the chances of him getting 60, where we know the floor for Jamal Murray could be pretty bad sometimes, even as low as 18 or 20 fantasy points. So he'll probably be the better play in that aspect. But I think Jamal Murray is someone you consider as well. Eric Bledsoe as well. I'm gonna come down a little risky, but I love the matchup. I think Charlotte and Brooklyn, you got to have some exposure to it. It's gonna be a competitive game. The implied totals is pretty darn good. The Nets only favored by 4, so it should be a competitive game. And I do like both teams' guards in this game. Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham for Charlotte, and I do like the Nets with Dinwiddie. But his game log, man, Terry Rozier 6,900, and he is 6K on DK. You need 34 to meet value here, 30 on DK. He's averaging 30. He has 45-point upside. As you can see, he got a 49 spot here. A little choppy with the minutes and a little choppy with the scoring, but me being a GPP play, this is a solid spot for him to do well. If he doesn't do well here, obviously it's going to be a bad, situation for me. Right now, I like him as one of my cores at point guard. May have some others that I may be looking at, but Terry Rozier is definitely someone that you got to consider. He's shooting 41% from the floor, 36% from 3. From the free throw line, he is excellent at 85%. I also like that I looked at his home and away splits. He's actually performing slightly better away from home at 42% field goal percentage. And he's going up against Brooklyn, who is 30th, dead last in defending power point guards right now at the moment, and allowing 37.4 fantasy points per game, which is the 4th most at the point guard position in defense thus far this year in the NBA. He has been taking huge amount of shots too, man. Granted, these games are a little ugly. This game here against Toronto wasn't a great game, but 22 to 23 on average over the last 3 games, and he's also taking as much as 22 to 23, and that includes threes, not just from the floor. That's entirely all the shooting from threes and from the floor. So again, I do like the matchup against Brooklyn. He is in a favorable matchup as far as him being able to smash. Will he do it at this price tag? We will see, but I like Terry Rozier. We're going to go over. Let me just put him on there for now. A shooting guard at the top, we got Harden, we got Bradley Beal. I do like Beal a whole lot here today. I think that he will be one guy that I'm going to target. I love the way he's been playing as of late. He's been playing with a lot of fun. Like, he's been happy. Things have been going well. Washington has been playing better, but he has absolutely been playing a lot better. He's still under $10,000, 9,900 here, 48 you need for him to be value, 9,500 on DK. I think he's someone you can consider, man. 46% shooting, 33% from 3. He's going up against a team that is giving up 34.7 fantasy points per game. They gave up 57 to Wiggins and 50 to McCollum not so long ago, and this guy's been on fire. Just real quickly, man, his numbers, 53, 66, 61, 53 plus in 3 straight games. The minutes are there. The usage is through the roof. His usage rate is at right now currently 34%. I mean, so he's taking a lot of shots on his team, 23 to 24. But again, he's a little pricey, 9,500 and 99 respectively in both platforms. I'm going to come down and just save a little bit. Obviously, Dinwiddie is in play for me and Devontae Graham. We're going to go Dinwiddie. I already said that I will be on Graham as well. I can see myself slotting both of these guys in here like this, and I can see just using one or the other. But I'm going to go Dinwiddie here. I think he's going to be more popular than Devontae, so maybe I will do more lineups with Devontae on there. But Spencer Dinwiddie at 7,300, 7,200 on DK. 36, you need pretty much to meet value. He's averaging 30. He has been trending up, obviously due so to the factors that Kyrie Irving has been out with the injury. Can get you 45, as much as even 50. He has that kind of potential. The implied totals in this game, 221, one of the highest on the slate. Brooklyn is favored by 4. Again, this is also another position here where Brooklyn is one of the higher paced teams in the league. They are 4th in the NBA in pace, while Charlotte is a little bit lower. So Charlotte's going to have to play up to pace with Brooklyn. The other thing I like, the shooting has been great. He's been playing over 33 minutes a game, 47% field goal percentage, 30% from 3, 83% from the free throw line. His usage rate is at 32% right now for the season over the course of the last 5 or 6 games. But over the course of Kyrie being out, 39%. 39%. Charlotte is 18th in defending shooting guards and point guards. They're 6th. You have to consider that because Dinwiddie's been playing the point. They've been allowing 31.2 fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. Van Fleet put up 38. Now, Ntilikina of the Knicks put up 26, and Morant of Memphis put up 39.7 That's all in the last 3 games. Again, he's taking 17 to 18 shots a game, 6 or 7 threes. Yeah, he has been, right now, he is the workload or the offense on this team. So Dinwiddie is definitely in play. He's probably going to be a little bit more on the popular side. If you're looking for, obviously, the least owned player out of the 2, I will probably go Devontae Graham. But Devontae Graham is in play for me, as well as Bradley Beal. As small forward, we're going to come over to small forward. You got Giannis at the top. I do like Siakam in this matchup because it's going to be kind of close, but he did play against Orlando already. We know Orlando is tough all the way across the board. They're even pretty good at minimizing fantasy point totals. So this is not going to be the easiest game for Siakam, but I do think he has the possibility to smash. Something tells me he will. I'm not going to put him in here as a core right now. Paul George, obviously the news on Leonard is very important. If Kawhi is out there, PG-13 would be obviously an option. So at 8,300, I think he can. I know he let us down the other day. I played him about 35% of my lines, and he killed me with the bad performance. But again, it's going to happen, man. This is DFS. It's plain and simple. The players got to play, and we got to hope that everything matches up and pans out well. Sometimes it does not. Okay, but we're going to come down to Alec Burks, man. 6,200. You need 31 to meet value. He is $5,200, $1,000 cheaper on DK. You need 26 days, averaging 25 to 26. He has a 40-point upside. He's been averaging 15, 4, and 3, and as you can see, over 29 minutes a game over the last 3, shooting 44% from the floor, 37% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. He has had 2 20-point games from the floor out of the last 3 games, and of course he had a 42 spot in fantasy points in his last outing, and he has had 3 40-point games, so we know he has 40 plus upside. Okay, his usage rate is at 24%. In the last 3 games, he's been taking as many as 14 shots a game and 3 or 4 threes for about 17 to 18 shots total. All right, and he brings to the table, he can get you a little bit of defense, can get you a steal on a block once in a while, so not too bad at all. He's going up against Dallas. They are 7th in defending small forwards, but they have been allowing over the last 5 games 38.2 fantasy points per game to opposing small forwards. I do like it, and that's actually the second most as far as in the small forward position thus far this year in the NBA, because I stay on top of that. So, yeah, Alec Burks, a very sneaky play there. But again, at the top, if you're going to go anywhere, I will probably say Siakam and George. Watch the news for Leonard. And then I'm really not high on anybody else. You can't consider Daniel House. And then Glenn Robinson, of course, for Golden State. They need some people to score. Cam Reddish, if there was no Jabari Parker, I probably would have been more on him, as well as Hunter. Those are guys that I would have been looking into. And the same thing if Leonard is out. Always got to consider Mo Harkless. All right, let's go to power forward. At power forward at the top, you got Kawhi. If he plays, hey, you know what? He's available. It's just that with him and George and going up against Boston, one of the better defending teams in the league, it's a little bit of a tough matchup. I will probably lean towards him being more well-rested than George. So maybe he will be the option to go. If you're going to go PG or Kawhi, you probably will go Kawhi. Here, I'm going to come down here. I mean, Blake Griffin is interesting to me. Kevin Love is interesting. I just don't like the matchup with Miami. Blake Griffin is in a better matchup against Chicago. This is going to also be a close game. So, I mean, close game. Again, that's another tip that you guys got to remember. You want to be in close games. When it comes to fantasy sports, one thing that I've learned is that when you have a matchup like this between Chicago and Detroit, and there's only one team is only 2 or 3 point favorites, and the implied totals are not extremely high, you want to be in those matchups where the games are close. And an 11-game slate like this, you want to use that as one of your strategies, simply because the key players in those games, the key component offensive players for those teams, are going to stay on the floor longer when the games are close. It's obvious. So those are the games that you got to also watch in an 11-game slate. Forget about the high implied total games that are huge spreads. If the game is fairly close and it's going to be even a lower spread games, those are games you can target as well. So a game like this with Blake Griffin, being a close game, that could be this is a better play using Griffin than it would be Bam Adebayo going up against Cleveland, where Miami's a little bit more, favored by a larger spread. And the same thing with Kevin Love, with Kevin Love. I meant more so with Bam than with Bam Adebayo. But Blake Griffin, that could be an option. I'm going to go with LaMarcus Aldridge. Washington, you got to have advantage. You got to have exposure to the San Antonio Washington game. It's going to be competitive, and at the same time, It is the highest implied total game of the night. I think it's 237 or something like that. And it's going to be only, I think San Antonio is only favored by 2 or by 1.5. That is the games you got to target. A high implied total, close game, yes. Low implied total, close game, 11 game slate, yes. So, I mean, Aldridge here, 7,800. Some people are going to be like, well, why Aldridge? When you got Hachimura there, you got Bryant in the front court, but he's going to need to do more. He's going to need to do more in a situation like this. So LaMarcus Aldridge, 7,800. He's 7,700 on DK. You need 38 to meet value. On Fanduel, 37 on DK. He's averaging 35, and he has 50-point upside. He did put a 52 recently, but 58 earlier in the year. So we know he can get you over 50. He's playing more than enough minutes, 31-plus minutes a game. In 7 out of his last 8 games, he has had at least 25, 31 or more fantasy points. So at least he's close to it. He has the possibility to be at least at value, but he also has that upside that can get us over the hump and exceed value and become a great GPP player as well in a good matchup where he should be able to compete, and the game is going to stay close, and we expect quality minutes from him in the fourth quarter. All right, usage. He's shooting 52%, 32% from 3, 84% from the free throw line. In the last 3 games, his usage rate has gone slightly up to 24%, taking 15, 16 shots a game, 3 to 4 threes. He can get you, of course, a few blocks and steals. He had a big 5-block game here against Orlando, which obviously wasn't a good scoring night for him. But, man, he is capable of getting you those peripherals. He's going up against Washington. They're 9th in defending power forwards. They actually have been only allowing 29.4, slightly under 30 fantasy points per game, but they did give up 37 to Love, 32 to Sampson, 32 to Covington twice, and 33 to Tatum over the last 5 games. Again, another thing also that I looked at also regarding this matchup is that Washington is one of the poorest rebounding teams in the league, and I think that's where Aldridge is going to have to step up. He only averages about 5 or 6 rebounds a game, but when he needs to rebound and he has the advantage and he is in a favorable matchup in that capacity, he usually comes through and gets you 9 or 10 or more. So LaMarcus Aldridge, I think, is in a good spot here in this matchup. And at center, at the top, you got Towns, you got Embiid, and Drummond. I think all those guys you can look at for today on the 11-game slate. My concerns with the Embiid one is they're going up against New York at home, and right now I think they're favored by 11 or 12, so it's a little scary there if that game becomes a blowout. I would probably prefer to go with his opponent like Mitchell Robinson, but then again, it's tough to say if Mitchell's going to play 25 to 30 minutes because he did play well against Philadelphia last year and Embiid, so Mitchell Robinson could be an option, but the Knicks don't play him as often, so we don't know where they're going to stand there. But Towns, I'm going to stick with Towns. The other night I had Gobert over him. Gobert has done well. Tonight, more than likely, Gobert will play better, and he'll probably have a better matchup. But Towns should still be able to hit 50 fantasy points or more here. It's kind of a little bit of a safe play for me. 33. Another thing also is the game is going to be competitive again. Like I said, the competitive game where you're going to see that these guys are going to be on the floor in the fourth quarter. Those are games you want to target. So again, Towns here should be in a position to get 50 or better. He's playing over 32 minutes a game. All right, he's 10,800 here. You need 54 on FanDuel. He's 9,600. He is $1,200 cheaper. I think he's definitely someone you must consider as one of your core players if you're looking at centers. On DK, obviously you have a lot of players that are power forward center eligible, so you could definitely pay down and obviously get someone a little more pricier and pay up in another position. But $9,600, $1,200 cheaper is not bad at all. You need 54, 55 pretty much. And he's averaging 54, 55. He's shooting 51% from the floor, 43% from 3, 76% from the foul line. We know he can get you rebounds. He's capable of getting you peripherals. As you can see, last 2 games, 4 steals and 4 blocks. Granted, he had 5 turnovers here. He would have had 64 fantasy points. So he is good for possibly 50 to as much as 60 or better in this matchup today. And then, of course, it'll be even better if Andrew Wiggins is out again today. So if Wiggins is out, it's going to definitely be a big boost. Wiggins out. He's been at a usage rate of about 36%. He's taking 18 to 19 shots a game and 5 or 6 threes all over the course of the last 3 games. And, of course, like I said, he gives you some steals and some blocks. He can do pretty much everything. He's going up against Utah. Utah is 16th in defending centers, allowing 30.7 fantasy points per game. And as you already know, he already played them just 2 nights ago, and he put up a 59 spot. Other than these guys, again, Drummond at 8,700 on DK, not bad. Let me just pencil him in. So Drummond versus Chicago, giving up 33.3, not a bad play on DK at 8,700. 7,900 Capella versus Denver, 31.6 fantasy points per game. That's someone that I'm thinking of also on DK. And also on DK, if you want to pay down, I think Jared Allen, you can actually pencil him in here as well. He could be someone you can consider at power forward for Brooklyn tonight. Jared Allen, 5,300 on DK as a power forward or center eligible. Going up against Charlotte. Charlotte giving up 38 fantasy points per game. So, again, those are the guys. Again, don't just pencil these guys in. I mentioned a few guys here that I'm thinking about. Again, if you want to follow along, you want to be a part of the team, a Team DFS Zone, go to my Patreon page, man. The link is in the description of the video. Okay? Link in the description of the video. Come down, take a look, join up, and at the end of the day, I will let you know. I will send over the information, and you will have an opportunity to at least be able to see where I'm at if you want to know where I'm at. And you can make your decisions from there. I don't give out lineups, but I give you guys the best possible recommendations. And then, of course, I leave it to you to make those lineups. If you want to pick my brain and ask me more or less between 2 or 3 players, I'll give you my honest opinion. I'm always honest and fair. I'm not going to go and tell you something that I don't believe in. That's just not me. Okay? So, and that's pretty much it, man. So, again, man, drop a like on the video. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you subscribe if you want to be in the giveaway to get that player pool. That weekly join is on Mondays. Other than that, I wish you a lot of luck. Make this money. The grind is real. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and matter of fact, I just want to let you know, tomorrow is only a 2-game slate in the association. It just hit me. 2-game slate tomorrow, so no NBA video tomorrow. But those of you that are members of Team DFS Zone and you are in my Patreon page, you will get some plays from me. I'm probably not going to give you a large, but you're going to get something tomorrow for tomorrow's 2-game slate, okay? And that will be just 45 minutes to an hour before lock, okay? Again, I'm sorry about that. Wish you a lot of luck, and then I'll see you for the next video on Friday. All right?